In this video, I'm going to be listing my favorite fountain pen friendly notebooks at 3 different price brackets: under 25, under 50, and over 50, coming up. So for this list, essentially, I'm going to be keeping a criteria for the notebooks. These are going to be notebooks that are more or less an A5 size, have a stitched binding with at least 160 pages, and come in multiple page styles. Now, there will be some exceptions here and there, which I will point out, but this list is really where I would be recommending people look for fountain pen friendly notebooks. Now, first up, under $25, we have the Midori MD notebook. Now, I don't have all of the notebooks on hand anymore. I gave them away or I finished them, but I've reviewed, I believe, all of the notebooks on this list, with maybe one exception. So I'll put links to those in the description and also up in the corner. So the first up is the Midori MD notebook. Now, out of all of the notebooks on this list, I will say this paper has a little bit more tendency to bleed and feather. It is still very fountain pen friendly, and it is a joy to write on. The Midori MD notebook is one of the most complete notebook lines out there. They have covers in leather, in paper, in plastic. They have multiple sizes, multiple formats, multiple page styles. This is one of the, if not the most complete stitched notebook line on the market. It is a ecosystem that I personally have invested in with notebook covers. They just have a fantastic product line. It looks really nice. It is strong, lays flat, very good quality binding. I really recommend these. In the A5 size, they're $16. They do make an MD cotton paper, which some people like. It is more white. It is a little bit more fountain pen friendly. I personally prefer the cheaper regular MD paper, but in cotton it's $21. So first up is the Midori MD. That would be my kind of number one recommendation under $25. After that is the Nebula Premium notebook. These are $22 and there are 192 pages, 90 GSM paper. This is very, very fountain pen friendly paper. Fantastic notebook in more of a Moleskine style with the hardcover and the elastic strap. This paper is extremely fountain pen friendly. It's not going to bleed, it's not going to feather. It is more textured, but it's also very good at showing off sheening inks. So this is a real killer notebook. I haven't been seeing them for sale as much. I hope they aren't discontinued. You can also get this paper loose leaf. I do sell it at the Paper Mine loose leaf. Trying to get more of that. They also do a twin ring version as well with this paper. This is a really good option, especially if you want that Moleskine format. The other one I would recommend is the Stifflex Flex cover notebook. This is a patented, I don't know, cover system. The paper is made by, I can't remember, it's an Austrian color. The notebooks are made in Italy. They cost $22, 192 pages. Very fountain pen friendly, very well made stitch notebook, again in a kind of more Moleskine style. I do think they're a little bit thinner than a standard A5, but very, very nice notebooks. The fourth one I would recommend is Dominant Industry Takasago Premium Notebook. This is a notebook that just people slept on. I don't know how this sold out. They're $24. You get 172 pages, and they're, they have a very nice style. It's not like the most premium feeling cover. It is like a paper cover, but it has a good look to it. It has Takasago Premium paper, which is sort of, I believe, like Yamamoto paper's more like smooth version of bank paper. So it's made on the same machine as bank paper, and it has the same 3 diamonds watermark. It's a beautiful, beautiful paper, very fountain pen friendly, and at $24, it's a pretty good deal. It doesn't have as nice of a binding and cover as some of the other notebooks, especially like the Paper Mind bank paper notebook, but it's a very good deal. This paper is discontinued, but these notebooks are still available. I still see them at Pen Chalet, and they come in 3 page styles in a standard A5 size. So Takasago Premium, really, really nice paper for only $24. Next up is going to be the Dingbats Wildlife notebook. These are $22, A5 size. It's a 100G paper. This is a Lebanese company, and they use a paper from their mill. 192 pages, very smooth. This would be sort of, I would pick this over like a Rhodia web book. It's, again, kind of that moleskin style. This has more of like a textured faux leather and an elastic strap. Very, very fountain pen friendly. I used to really like Rhodia and Clairefontaine notebooks, but the paper quality has been too inconsistent. So I recommend these Dingbats ones. They do have these weird, not weird, but they have like these like animal or nature prints on the front of them, which I don't love, but they're very fountain pen friendly and you can find them at Amazon. So this would be my fifth choice for at under $25. Going to the under $50 category. Now, number one, it has to be my Papermind notebooks. I especially love the soft covers with the naked spine. These are all about the paper, all about the comfort. They lay completely flat without any effort on your part, and the papers are fantastic. Draw Next, got bank paper, got Dandy Laid for a textured uncoated paper. These are really excellent, and they cost between $34 and $38. Really high quality, made in Japan, and super strong bindings. Also have Tomoe River hardcover notebook in more of a moleskin style. These are $35, and we now have it in a navy blue with a dot grid format. 400 pages, $35. Really, really excellent, and again, you know, super strong binding and lay flat. So you're moving to the under $50 category. The Papermind notebooks are for sure going to be my top choice. They're really made for fountain pen users and for paper lovers. Next up is going to be the Musubi Folio notebooks. I have one here. I don't actually know what paper this is, so can't recommend this one. It's also a bit stiff for some reason. But the folios that I've had that have bank paper, Cosmo Air Light, and Tomoe River paper have been excellent. And, you know, if you are in Asia, because they're based in Singapore, it may be cheaper to buy notebooks from them. They cost between $27 and $40, you know, kind of depending on the currency conversion there. They are more limited on page styles, but they are a good option, and they, you know, have a nice quality binding. This one, though, I kind of, what's going on with this one? Why does this seem so stiff? Normally they're not this stiff. I don't know what paper this is either. But Cosmo Airlight, bank paper, Tomoe River, Atelier Musubi Folio notebooks could be a good option. Next up is going to be the Kobeha Graphilo notebook. These have this fantastic custom paper that Kobeha made. It is a A5 Slim, and I believe it only comes in ruled and blank. They're $34. I actually do carry these at the Papermind because I love this paper so much. $34 for 188 pages. Very, very nice fountain pen friendly paper. Not one of the fastest drying papers, but ink looks really beautiful on this, and it's made very well in Japan, stitched, lay flat, really nice option. I would actually probably pick that over the Musubi, especially considering, I don't know why this is so stiff. This isn't normal Musubi. Anyway, I don't know what weird paper's in there, so ignore that. And then number 4 is going to be the Leuchtturm 1917 120G edition. These are $29, and you get 203 pages somehow. I don't know how they get 203 pages. That's not a standard signature. They're doing something else in there, but it's well made. It has a very good layout. It's a very heavy notebook because it is 120G paper, but it's fountain pen friendly, and it's one that you can find pretty easily. And if you're somebody that likes a heavier paper, this can be a good option. It's not, you know, the most beautiful paper, but it works well with fountain pens, and it's pretty readily available, and it has a very nice layout, as all Leuchtturm notebooks do. Now, best notebooks over $50. Before I get into these, what I will say is Here I have a Papermind Meringue A6 Slim notebook. This is our newest notebook, by the way, and it is now available. Buying a cover for a notebook like a Papermind Meringue notebook, any of our like soft cover notebooks is kind of, I think, the best way to add a bit more luxury to a notebook versus having one that is, bound with leather that you have to then, when you're done with it, it's done. This you can keep using and, it will patina. This is a Midori MD goatskin cover, which I have on this Papermind Meringue notebook. This is a nice way to add some luxury. So I would kind of point people in this direction before going to these other luxury notebooks, which do not have replaceable covers, but they are still enjoyable and they are very luxurious. So let's get into those. The number one, luxury over $50 notebook that I recommend is the Smythson Panama. Now this I have in the big Portobello size, but the Soho size would be the A5 size, and those go for $275, and you can find them on sale if you're patient. They're very expensive. They have this Smythson featherweight paper, which I actually think is the closest paper to the original Tomoe River. It is super thin. I think it's like 50 GSM, and it's crinkly, and it's very, very fountain pen friendly. The only unfortunate thing is it is blue. The other thing with these notebooks is, the binding is very flexible, but it's not as good as, I would say, most of the other notebooks that I've recommended so far. And that's kind of going to be a theme for all of the luxury notebooks. The next one that I recommend is the Mount Street Printers notebook in the medium size. These are 75 pounds GBP. So as of today, that's roughly 99 US dollars. These have white pages. It's a very thin fountain pen friendly paper, gold leaf. They lay pretty flat. I would say that these do a little bit better than the Smythson Panama in terms of laying flat and staying open. It's still not perfect because you do have, leather throughout, but very nice paper in these. 224 pages, a very good alternative to the Smythson, especially if you don't like that blue paper. This is quite a nice option, I think. Also made in England, similar to the Smythson. And then next would be the Hanemühle Iconic notebook that I reviewed recently. I'll put a link to that up in the corner. Very nice watermarked paper, textured, heavier 100G paper. The one thing about that, and the Iconic only comes in dot grid. The Mount Street only comes in ruled, and so does the Smythson Panama. It is unfortunate that the luxury notebooks tend to give you less options, but it is what it is. The final one is the only one on this list that I haven't personally owned. I'd like to have one, but I don't have one yet. It's the Hieronymus CP Notebook Soft. This is the only other notebook that I'm aware of other than the Papermind Blocker notebook that uses blocker paper from Gemund. You get 180 pages, a beautiful soft leather cover, and in the H5 size, which is like their A5 size, it is 220 Swiss francs. So very expensive, very luxurious though, only comes in blank. It doesn't come in dot grid like our Papermind blocker paper notebooks, but this would be quite a nice notebook. And having had some of their other ones, they're made very well, made in Switzerland, stitched, very luxurious. So those are sort of the 4 luxury notebooks that I would recommend for fountain pen users. But I do kind of think that the cover is a very good way to go. These ultra light, flexible, like Smythson style notebooks are really luxurious to use, but for most people spending that much money on something that you don't end up, you finish it and then it's done, it's kind of, it's kind of a lot. So that's pretty much it. Those are my notebook recommendations. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.